On track here at Texas Motor Speedway. We had a 2-week vacation in the Xfinity Series, so it got all of us to thinking. After 5 races, where are we? Who are the front runners? What do we predict is going to happen as the season goes on? And who's that driver we need to keep our eye on? Michael, you say Elliott Sadler, Tyler Reddick, Justin Allgaier, Christopher Bell, with Cole Custer waiting in the wings.
Yeah, it was hard for me to leave Daniel Hemrick off that list, but I'll stand by my 5 guys. That's 5 solid racers, and you can see we're all basically in the same ballpark with roughly the same guys. Another racer that I've thought long and hard about is Ryan Truex because of the strong start that they've had to this season. But I'll stand by my guys. How do you feel about yours?
Well, I think most would look at mine and say, what an idiot, because he doesn't have Christopher Bell anywhere. And it was hard for me to vote against the guys from Junior Motorsports just because of their consistent speed, and especially Sadler and Allgaier because of their history and making it to the championship for the last couple of years. You could go 8-10 deep, certainly, but I do think this was a very challenging exercise. And Matt, you know, you and Regan weighed in as well, and very common threads here when you look at the 5 or 6 drivers that we put on the board. And I think the focus will become much more clear in the next 5 weeks before the Xfinity Series takes another 2-week break, because the collection of tracks, the 1.5 miles this weekend at Texas Motor Speedway, and we know how important that is. You got Bristol in there. We go to Richmond.
Yeah, we're changing things up, Adam. We're going to take what we've done the first 5, and then we're going to get a great sampling of short track racing, and then we're going to go restrictor plate racing 3 and 4 wide at Talladega, and then this place. This is a real tough racetrack. I'm really looking forward to seeing when these 5 are all done at Charlotte Motor Speedway in there, where do we stand with our predictions?
And a good handful, when you look at the first 10 races on the schedule, a good handful of those will be in the playoffs when we get to September, October, November. So no doubt we're going to really understand who's got what. And speaking of, here's Daniel Hemrick, very fast in that first practice session, top of the board, P2 at a 28.963. How about Hemrick announcing in the off weeks? Going to make his Monster Energy Series debut at Richmond, driving the 8 car for Richard Childress, also going to run the Roval later this year.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for this young man. He came up through the short tracks, Legends Cars racing back in North Carolina. Matt, everybody said this is a short track racer that deserves a shot. He's got that shot, and he's really taken advantage of it.
Well, I think if you look at just the momentum behind him and what he's done coming up through the grassroots that we've talked so much about recently, and he's taken advantage of opportunities, and many people get opportunities, but it's when you take advantage and you succeed with those opportunities, and that's what Daniel Hemrick has done. Obviously, he's done enough because he ended up on Adam's top 4, and he was not on ours, but the car decent into 1, he says, a little tight rolling through the center, but overall he's pretty pleased with that car. And by the way, Adam, I would never have called you an idiot for not putting Christopher Bell in your top 4.
If not,
come on, man.
If not for that, something else, I'm sure,
well,
Matt. But thank you for cleaning that up.
Have you thought about buying any gifts for your lovely wife Audrey coming up? I mean, Mother's Day is right around the corner.
Well, you're always helpful in that area. Hey, you know, we're talking about these drivers, and the track is very busy right now. Seeing some of those make the logger run, 10, 15 lap average, and top of the charts now with a collection of drivers in the 5-lap category is Daniel Hemrick. And we could have big news this weekend, because Morgan Shepherd, if he qualifies tomorrow, making a monumental start, Regan.
He absolutely would be making a monumental start, Adam. 1,000 starts in the Xfinity Series for Morgan Shepherd, excuse me, in NASCAR's top 3 series for Morgan Shepherd. That's a huge number, a lot of races for him. His last win in the Xfinity Series came 330 races ago for him in 1988. So definitely would be a upset, to say the least, if Morgan's able to get the win, but very cool for him to be around for this long racing this hard.
Career spans like 40 years, and you see on the graphic here, he's 76 years old, 15 wins in the Xfinity Series, 4 times to victory lane in the Monster Energy Series. Good for Morgan Shepherd. We wish him well, and always good to see him in the garage. And when I saw him down there this morning, he wasn't in his driver's uniform. He was in a pair of blue jeans and a button-up shirt, and he was pulling tires around. So he does a little bit of everything, making that 89 car go.
It's kind of like Joe Nemechek we saw on that list of drivers that have made 1,000 career starts. His job now ranges from tire carrier to engine tuner the decal applier for anything that his son John Hunter drives. And what a great story that was up at Martinsville with that big win for John Hunter to be able to get to victory lane. And Joe was right there working on that truck all weekend long. And John Hunter, by the way, is here this weekend. He isn't driving, but he's down in that pit area listening to all the communications between the teams and how that 42 car is running and the adjustments they made. So a lot of good things happening for that guy.
Tyler Reddick did the exact same thing a year ago with that 42 team. Eventually won at Kentucky in September. It wouldn't surprise me at all if John Hunter Nemechek is able to do that. So far, 2 starts, including a top 5 run earlier this season at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The car belongs to Jamie McMurray today and tomorrow. The driver out of Missouri, currently 11th quick in final practice. 28 minutes to go. It's Hemrick, Blaney, Tift, Allgaier, and Reed, your top 5 at TMS.